Hi everyone, today I wanted to do a video on 5 books or series to read out loud, so for family read alouds. Some of my fondest childhood memories are of my brothers and I listening to books being read out loud from our parents, and even when we learn to read and when other kids learn to read, I think it's always just a great thing to still have that family time to read out loud. So here are some of my recommendations for books that would be perfect for family to read out loud. So the first one's very near and dear to my heart, and they're the first ones I thought of when I thought of this, but the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. These are a fantasy series. The first one's probably the most famous, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And it's about 4 kids who find their way into this magic land, and they have these adventures. These were the first books that kind of showed me that even fictional characters could have an impact on us. There's 7 books, and so actually the first one was The Magician's Nephew, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, Horse and His Boy, and then it has Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. And these are great to read out loud. They're fast, full of adventure, and they are just great. C.S. Lewis is a great writer, and there's a great world building in these. So the first one's the Narnia series. The next 2 are classics, and the first one is one that I've kind of read recently, but I don't know how many people read this book nowadays, but it's the Mary Poppins books. So in this one, there's 4 books. Mary Poppins Comes Back, Mary Poppins Opens the Door, and Mary Poppins in the Park. And it's very different than the Walt Disney version of Mary Poppins, that with Julie Andrews. That one's very light, loving. There's a little just sharpness to Mary Poppins in the original stories, but there's still each book is still so filled with just magic, wonder, and just little adventures. So it's like every chapter in the books is a little adventure that the Banks children go through. So this would be a really, really fun read. So the Mary Poppins books. The next classic I have is one that I've actually read several times because it's worth reading several times, and that's Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. There are so many different versions of Alice in Wonderland. You can go to Barnes & Noble, and there are just many different with different illustrators. So choose the one that you like the best, and that you can show while you're reading it. I mean, these ones are some of the more original ones. Let's see if I can see the illustrator. By John Tenniel, the original illustrator. So this is stories of a girl finds her way into this just magic land and has these adventures. This one is a great to read out loud because there's just so many different characters, and it's just really just zany adventure after zany adventure, and really fun. And it's a classic, so I recommend Alice in Wonderland. The next 2, actually the next one I'm going to do is kind of more of an author. So Kate DiCamillo, and she wrote the Tale of Despereaux. This was actually made into a movie, but this is actually a John Newbery Award Medal book, and this is a story about a little mouse, and he has to save the kingdom. So it's just really cute, really fun. Little bit dark at points, but it's kind of like the Middle Ages where they fight with swords and all that. The reason why I put this on this list and I mentioned Kate DiCamillo is because, so I actually read this book because I went babysitting one day and the kids were not feeling too good. So we spent the whole evening I basically finished this book in one evening because I was reading it to them. And not only was it interesting for them, but it was interesting for me, and it was really good. So then I went and started researching other books that she had written, and they were also very good. But this one is definitely a good one to read out loud. And the last one, you probably know which one it's going to be. This is slightly older kids, but the Harry Potter series. These books are just so fun. The world building is just so great with magical creatures, and about this boy goes to wizarding school. He makes friends, and there's just so much in these books, and they're so fun. Some of these books I read so fast that I kind of want to reread them, but they're just so fun, and they're just perfect for families to read out loud. And a couple of the families that I've babysat watched, they actually mentioned that they start reading these out loud, which I think is very, very fun. So these are the books that I think would be good to have family read out loud time. So Mary Poppins, Alice in Wonderland, Tale of Despereaux by Kate DiCamillo, the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling, the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. So what are books that you and your family like to read out loud? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's others that you think that are good to read out loud. There is one that I have not read, but I keep hearing that it's really great. It's the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, and I keep hearing that one's a great one to read out loud, so there's another little tip, a bonus one. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Thanks. Bye.